Tama was a weak-ass knight who got killed in the most embarrassingly forgettable way possible. But everything changes when he reincarnates as a kitten stronger than Goku and becomes the pet of a smoking hot elf girl. But before any of that, Tama wakes up in the middle of a dungeon with almost no memories, except one. He died after catching a demon's sword to the face. Then he finds out he was reincarnated as a rank S behemoth, the kind of creature that can level entire nations in a single night, like how your ex leveled your entire self-esteem in a single text. As a former knight, Tama has a bit of an identity crisis about being a monster scary enough to erase a country from the map, but then he looks at his reflection and realizes he's a tiny, goofy-looking cat. Somehow he's totally fine with it. Right out of the gate, a rank E slime tries to make Tama its lunch. Tama checks his abilities, uses one to attack it, and, starving, has no choice but to bite the thing, only to discover it tastes better than anything you've ever had in your life. And that's when the real discovery hits. He can absorb the abilities of anything he eats and save them for later. So naturally, he goes on a hunting spree. Tama fights his way through the dungeon, flying lizards, stone golems that look like your aunt after a bad day, you name it. Eats them all, absorbs everything. At some point, he finds a treasure chest and gets hyped over a red crystal inside. But just like every From Software game ever made, it's a trap, and he drops straight onto a rank S Earth Dragon. Tama attacks, the dragon dodges and creates an opening. The dragon counters, and even trying to block, Tama takes a hit and starts bleeding out. When the dragon's about to close it out, Tama finds a gap, counterattacks, and books it out of the cave before things get any worse. Meanwhile, somewhere in the city, Arya is starting her day as an adventurer. She arrives by boat to the dungeon entrance and, when the guards try to stop her, she flashes her access pendant. Inside, she draws her dual swords and the movement stirs up a memory, a glimpse from her past, when she watched an elven warrior use those same weapons against a demon. Back to Tama, he's almost out of the dungeon when he collapses from blood loss. Just when it looks like he's about to respawn as an emo kid trapped behind a wall, Arya shows up and comes to his rescue. Tama wakes up bandaged inside Arya's house, being taken care of by her. He takes one look at this gorgeous elf, let's just say she's built different, and realizes she has absolutely no idea he's a rank S behemoth. For days, Arya nurses Tama back to health, feeds him, sleeps next to him, until he's fully recovered. Then she heads off to the dungeon to work. But after everything she did for him, Tama decides right then and there, he's dedicating his life to protecting her. He follows her into the dungeon, worried she'll end up like those poor girls from Goblin Slayer. But when Arya runs into some goblins, she drops both of them effortlessly and collects their ears as proof. Tama is impressed. Then a third goblin shows up. And while Arya's feeling confident, this one is a goblin mage that hurls fire at her. She freezes, and since Tama can't exactly reveal how absurdly overpowered he is, he shoves her out of the way and slashes the goblin's face with his claws, sending it straight to the Shadow Realm. Arya can barely believe her little cat just saved her. On the way back, she pets him with pure affection, and Tama is in heaven. They arrive at the guild, and the moment they walk in, some guy with a deeply questionable haircut, Kusman, tries to talk Arya into joining his party for, let's say, half-elf baby-making purposes. Tama bites his hand before he can even touch Arya. Kusman yeets Tama across the room, but when he lands, Tama uses his claws to rearrange the guy's face. Kusman gets furious and wants to turn Tama into a throw rug. But before things escalate, Anna, the guild receptionist who gives off terrifying main character energy, steps in and threatens Kusman in that specific way only she can, sending him running like he owes someone money. Anna praises Tama for saving Arya, and after saving her twice now, Arya officially declares that Tama is her cat. Tama is happier than a kid on Christmas. She starts playing with his fur, and when she inches dangerously close to a sensitive area, Tama starts purring, and will just leave the rest to your imagination. Later, slightly buzzed and absolutely stunning that evening, Arya invites Tama to take a bath with her. Tama internally commits to not going. Reader, he goes. And while they're in the bath, she opens up and shares a piece of her story. Demons attacked her village, but they were saved by Alicia, the holy sword elf, who became the role model Arya has chased ever since. After that, Tama curls up beside her, and that's that. The next day, they head to the guild, and Anna advises them to head home early. Then Kusman shows up again with an execution order for Tama over the claw marks on his face, but he proposes a duel. If Arya wins, Tama lives. If she loses, she becomes his baby mama. Everyone is shocked, and with no other option, Arya accepts. That night, the whole city is watching the showdown between Kusman, rank C, and Arya, rank D. Being the worst kind of generous, Kusman offers Arya the chance to pick someone to fight alongside her. Nobody steps up. Kusman laughs, But then Tama himself steps forward as Arya's partner, ready to get their revenge. Tama attacks first, but quickly realizes this is going to be rough without using his abilities. Arya capitalizes on the opening to attack, but Kuzman dodges and kicks her, leaving a bruise. She tries everything, but he counters every approach with ease, eventually knocking her down. Kuzman is already mentally writing his victory speech when Tama activates an ability, deflects the guy's attack, and, well, Kuzman's sword ends up lodged somewhere deeply unfortunate. The entire crowd loses it watching a cat pull that off. And while Tama braces for his secret to be blown, everyone celebrates him as an elemental cat, not a behemoth, and Arya is declared the winner. From that day on, Tama, a rank S behemoth deep down, is officially a hot elf's house cat. The next morning, Tama wakes up next to Arya and, wanting to make her happy, starts licking her elf ear. Arya nearly melts into the mattress. When Tama tries to jump off the bed, she yanks him back and tells him to keep going. With no escape, he complies. Later, they visit the armory and meet Vulcan, the incredibly jacked weaponsmith who completely loses it when she sees the legendary Tama. They play with him, and in that moment, Tama silently thanks the universe for his reincarnation. Vulcan asks what Arya wants, and she requests armor for Tama. Fired up, Vulcan works through the entire day and night, and by the next morning, Tama walks out looking like he just got a gear upgrade cutscene, but Vulcan admits she can't make Arya's sword lighter. That bums Arya out, but Vulcan has a plan. She proposes forming a temporary party to watch Arya fight up close and diagnose the problem firsthand. They spend some time fighting goblins in the dungeon, and Vulcan, being exactly who she is, handles her share with zero effort. Then an orc shows up wanting to claim both women for himself, and when Arya charges in, the orc neutralizes her easily. Tama has to intervene. Vulcan observes and pinpoints the flaw in Arya's fighting style, and warns that the next enemy will be perfect for training: a roper. When Tama sees the opponent, he mentally prays it doesn't end in tentacles and slime getting everywhere near the girls. Vulcan explains that Arya will be forced to adapt her movements, and when Arya attacks, she proves her point. The roper shuts down Arya's quick strikes with ease. Then Vulcan tosses Arya a pair of dual daggers, and with them, Arya moves faster than ever before. Vulcan calls it, Arya is built for daggers, not swords. Using pure speed, Arya finishes off the second roper, which releases a white substance that gives Arya a very uncomfortable preview of what high-level combat can look like. This makes Tama furious, and he charges the third one with everything he's got, leaving Vulcan and everyone else stunned. After the battle, Arya is still stabbing the dead monster out of principle, and she declares that despite all her admiration for the Holy Sword Saint, she's going to become strong her own way, with daggers, not swords. They stumble into a hot spring deep in the dungeon. Vulcan explains that a philosopher's stone is protecting the area. The stone sends Arya spiraling back into memories of the attack on her village. She invites Tama into the bath with a level of enthusiasm, and Tama, despite telling himself he's absolutely not getting in, gets in. Arya asks about Vulcan's old party, and Vulcan explains it fell apart after two members caused drama, and someone ended up pregnant. With that, Vulcan officially joins Arya's team. She also mentions that elemental cats like Tama can reproduce with other species, and when Tama checks his newly absorbed roper abilities, he discovers he could, technically, have half-cat, half-elf kids with Arya. He immediately files that information in the mental trash. Arya gets way too excited about it and tells Tama to hurry up and grow. Next up, a minotaur. Arya's speed is landing damage, but it's not enough to put it down. Then the ceiling caves in, and Tama saves Vulcan at the last second, completely flipping her opinion of him. Arya finishes the Minotaur, while Vulcan stands there floored by how unhinged this cat is, and tells him she wants in for real. Weeks later, Tama finds himself sandwiched between the two girls sleeping like weighted blankets on either side of him, both mumbling in their dreams about wanting to have his kittens. Being the honorable knight he is, he distracts himself by checking his status screen, and that's when he discovers he can evolve into the next form of the behemoth. But not wanting to blow up the peaceful life he's built with Arya, he decides to hold off, unless it's absolutely necessary. The next day, Arya and Tama come across two thugs harassing a girl. When Arya steps in, the two are ready to throw down until they see Tama on her shoulder, and they immediately apologize and disappear. Arya comforts the girl, who introduces herself as Lala, with no family to speak of. Arya takes her to a church full of orphans, where everyone lights up at the sight of Arya. She hands Lala over to the care of the nun there, who tells her how much these visits mean to them, and Tama silently vows to support her no matter what. Back at the guild, Anna has good news. Arya has reached rank C as an adventurer. But in that same moment, everyone's attention snaps to the mission board. An emergency quest has just gone up. People are disappearing in the city of Reynold, and the culprits appear to be demons. An adventurer like Arya doesn't even hesitate before asking Anna for details. Then a knight named Cedric walks in to brief them, and everyone in the guild collectively short-circuits. Tama recognizes Cedric, a legendary mage who turned the tide at the Battle of Ragnar, the massive conflict between humans and demons, where his presence alone changed the outcome for humanity. Arya is still worried, but Anna assures her that with Cedric on the team, they'll be fine. Then the girls realize Cedric is very much into the guys. No further comment. The next morning, before they set off, Tama can feel Arya's nerves. He gives her a little lick to cheer her up. She smiles and thanks him, and then kisses him on the lips. Tama short-circuits on the spot. After that, the mission kicks off under Cedric's leadership, with the team, Danny, Howard, Kenny, and Moretta. Everyone is immediately charmed by Tama, especially the girls. The carriage gets stopped mid-road. A pack of orcs is blocking the way. Cedric calls on Danny, who steps out and slices through every single orc before breakfast without even using a special ability. Arya's jaw is on the floor. They arrive at the village of Reynold by nightfall. The village chief confirms the disappearances are still ongoing. It hits Arya hard, bringing back ghosts of her past. Over dinner, the group goes around sharing why they became knights, some for debt, some for a dream. Cedric, because he needed direction after being cut off by his family. Arya apologizes for touching a nerve, but they all assure her it's fine. Later, the girls prep a bath and basically force Tama in to get cleaned up too. Being the honorable knight who pretends to be a cat, Tama struggles to stay neutral when the girls start making very distracting noises in the water. Outside, Danny and Howard try to sneak a peek after hearing those noises, but before they see anything, Tama materializes and sends them packing in full cat mode. Deep in the dungeon, someone is watching them and plotting their elimination. He sends a pack of werewolves, but the group takes them all out with ease. Tama uses a high-pressure water jet ability that drills through the werewolves like they're made of wet paper, leaving everyone, including the Watcher, completely shook. He's worried now, but he's got more tricks up his sleeve. Arya starts pushing Tama to show her his real power. Tama accepts his fate. The Watcher reveals himself. Beryl, a member of the demon clan nearly wiped out by humans. He creates a magic barrier that splits the group apart and sends his rank A trolls to eliminate each section. Tama ends up alone. Beryl specifically targeted him. Tama tries to rip the troll's arm off, but it regenerates instantly. Tama realizes he's in trouble. Cedric's group is also tangling with trolls, but Cedric pulls out a special dark magic sword that cuts through them clean, cackling like someone who's having a great time. Beryl recognizes the magic. Back to Tama. Cornered in front of a panicking Arya, he scans his arsenal and decides to go full fireball mode. He starts launching fireballs back to back like a turret and torches his trolls one by one. Beryl can't believe what he's seeing. Vulcan tries to flank Beryl from behind, and when he dodges, Arya appears from the other side and drives her blade into him. The blade starts glowing and causes him absolutely devastating pain, but before he goes down, he tags Arya with a poisoned blade. Arya collapses. Beryl vows revenge as he drops. The group carries Arya back to the village at full sprint. The doctor says she has 12 hours before the poison becomes irreversible. They're panicking, demanding options. The doctor tells them the antidote for dragon venom requires the eye of a rank S Earth dragon. The group argues over next steps, but Tama already knows exactly where to find one, and he's gone before anyone can say another word. In his mind, the decision is already made. Save Arya, no matter the cost. He heads straight to the dungeon and faces the same Earth dragon that nearly killed him before. But this time, Tama transforms into his second form, a full behemoth. They trade devastating blows. The dragon finds an opening and bites down on Tama's neck. It thinks it's won, but Tama swings his tail and decapitates the dragon right there. Then he shifts back to cat form, realizing the transformation has a time limit. He doesn't care. He grabs the dragon and flies back. In the city, Arya is fading fast, and the group is already saying their goodbyes. Then the ground starts shaking, and when they rush outside, they find Tama standing on top of the dead dragon like an absolute legend. In Arya's dream while she's unconscious, she relives the demon attack on her village. The demons were after the Philosopher's Stone. When they confronted her, she froze, and it was an elemental cat that saved her. Ever since then, she's had a soft spot for cats. With the dragon's eye, they create the antidote and save Arya. While everyone celebrates, Tama heads back to the dungeon and discovers he can't transform into the behemoth again for now. But he tests the dragon's abilities out on a bull that shows up and vaporizes it in the blink of an eye. Then a girl appears from inside the dungeon, calling Tama the powerful one and declaring she wants exactly one thing from him, his DNA. He runs, she chases, he barely escapes. Tama goes to sleep in Arya's lap, but can't stop thinking about that weird girl. And then it clicks. She looks a whole lot like the Earth Dragon. The next day, Arya puts together a picnic for her and Tama. They enjoy the fresh air, and once Arya learns what happened, she thanks Tama for taking down the dragon to save her. She opens up. Even after everything, she still feels like she's not strong enough. She tells him that when she was little, it was an elemental cat that saved her from the demons. But the one who actually defeated them was Alicia, the Holy Sword Saint, who was that cat's master. After that day, she left her family to follow in Alicia's footsteps. Arya tears up realizing that despite how far she's come, she still feels small. Tama curls up beside her. Sometimes that's all someone needs. The next day, with a solid payout from the last battle, Arya puts the money toward new armor for herself and Tama at Vulcan's shop. Arya puts hers on, and, while it looks like something straight out of an extremely mature cosplay convention, Vulcan swears it's the kind of armor elite warriors would actually be jealous of. To test it out, they head into the dungeon. Before moving forward, Tama quietly activates Divine Lion's protection on the girls, a defense buff. Arya clocks that he's worried about her. They run into a goblin, and with the new armor plus the buff, Arya wipes the floor with it. Then out of the shadows appears that girl from before. The girls assume she's some amnesiac adventurer when she starts saying things that make zero sense. The mystery girl demands that Tama belong to her, but Arya steps in front and makes it clear, Tama is hers and hers alone. The girl can't wrap her head around an elf keeping a behemoth that powerful on a leash. Arya offers to take care of her, and the girl agrees, as long as she stays close to Tama. On the way back, they give her a name, Stella. And when Tama internally thinks the name is cute, Stella hears his thoughts. She's telepathic. Great. They take Stella to get cleaned up. They scrub the dirty spots, and when Stella steps into warm water for the first time in her life, she cannonballs in like a little kid at a pool party. When Arya starts washing Tama, Stella gets immediately jealous and demands her turn. Arya shuts it down with the authority of someone who knows exactly whose cat this is. That night, while Arya sleeps, Stella wakes Tama up through telepathy, and then she drops the bombshell. She's the Earth Dragon. She explains she spent her whole life winning every fight, but when she was defeated by Tama, reincarnated as a human, she made a vow to stay by the side of someone stronger. Tama braces for revenge, but Stella fully recognizes the loss to a true alpha and wants only one thing, to have half-cat, half-dragon babies. She tries to make a move on Tama, but Arya materializes out of nowhere and shuts that down hard. Arya makes it crystal clear. She is not sharing Tama with anyone. Stella accepts the L, but announces through the mental link that she's going to win his heart the right way. The next morning, breakfast like a family. Stella eats like someone who hasn't seen food in a decade, but through telepathy, she asks Tama what Arya really means to him. Tama says everything. Stella is genuinely moved, because in the monster world, strength is everything, and being bested by Arya is actually the highest form of respect. They take Stella to Vulcan's shop for gear. Stella tries on an armor set that makes her look like an RPG character who went way too hard in the character creator. The girls notice her hands have no protection, and Stella demonstrates she can partially transform, hands and tail going full dragon mode. The girls determine she's a dragonkin. Stella walks to the back of the shop and lifts a massive shield with one hand. Vulcan's eye twitches. Then Stella grabs an equally massive sword, and they head out. In the dungeon, while the others move carefully, Stella is already charging ahead looking for someone to fight. She finds some goblins chilling out and, not even bothering with weapons, uses her dragon claws to handle business. When one goblin tries to stab her in the back, she makes an example of it with the sword. Tama worries about the path she's headed down, but Arya sees it as a glass-half-full situation and suggests the group support Stella when she gets too reckless. Stella wants a harder fight. Arya agrees to take them to a lower floor. Down there, Stella uses the shield to bulldoze a line of orcs like she's playing a video game on easy mode, but the next enemy gives everyone pause, a roper. They try to warn Stella, but she's already sprinting toward it. Tama explains what it is through telepathy and she panics. The roper wraps her in tentacles and covers her in white slime. She loses control and reverts to pure dragon instinct. Tama sees disaster incoming, activates his roper abilities, generates his own tentacles, pulls the girls to safety, and takes the monster out with a high-pressure water blast. Then he roasts Stella through the mental link. She admits she still has trauma from losing to him. He tells her he's there to protect her. Stella practically melts on the inside. Stella asks Vulcan to teach her how to use her weapons properly. Vulcan feels genuine hope about building something special with this group. The word group hits differently for Stella, who's spent her entire life fighting alone, and is now, for the first time, part of a team. Meanwhile, Arya corners Tama with her usual intensity, and Vulcan intervenes before it becomes a whole thing. Strategy session. Stella takes the tank role up front. They head back in, and when orcs appear, Stella charges like a freight train. Problem is, she moves so fast, she leaves everyone in the dust. Tama buffs the girls and they sprint to catch up. When they find a hot spring deep in the dungeon, they decide to take a break. Tama promises not to peek, and Arya drags him in to wash him on her lap. Stella and Vulcan watch with burning jealousy. Stella can't take it anymore and goes head-to-head with Arya, arguing that Tama deserves someone stronger. Arya is not moving an inch. They start fighting over Tama while he's squeezed between them. He ends up launched into the air. Back at the guild, they bring Stella to register as an adventurer. Anna introduces someone. Rhys, a man with a personal request. He needs Arya's group to protect a valuable shipment. Vulcan says she can't leave the shop. Arya understands. Stella asks what the cargo is, and Rhys takes them to his private storage, where the skeleton of the Earth Dragon sits, purchased at auction. Stella's own skeleton. She freezes for a split second, then starts laughing. Before they leave, Anna hands Arya her new badge, Rank B Adventurer. The next morning, Tama and the group set out to escort Rhys's shipment. They camp overnight. Rhys brings Arya beautiful flowers, but unlike most guys, he's not trying anything. He's completely loyal to his wife. Arya asks why he bought the skeleton, and he explains that a merchant friend tipped him off that a massive war is coming. This rings a bell for Tama. The demon from before said something similar, and he grows uneasy. In the dead of night, Tama wakes up with a bad feeling. He looks outside, and the landscape has completely changed. A brand new dungeon has materialized around them, leaving only the road and the campsite untouched. Rhys rushes them to leave by carriage. A dungeon spawning out of nowhere is something nobody has ever seen. After escaping, Rhys asks if they want to explore it. They're in. A fresh dungeon is literally every adventurer's dream. Inside the dungeon, Tama buffs everyone's defense. Stella immediately starts going rogue, but Arya pulls out a note Vulcan left for exactly this situation. It says, "Stay with the group, and you'll get a hug from Tama." Stella agrees instantly, thrilled. Then a red light tells them to follow it to treasure. They follow. Ambush. A bunch of big monkeys. With Stella holding the front line and soaking up hits, Arya picks off the monkeys with precision. But then the bushes start moving and talking, and out step two creatures, a green-haired fairy and the budget Tinkerbell version, Lily and Fairy. They explain they're fairies who inhabit forest dungeons. The two immediately grab Tama and start exploring every inch of his tiny body. Stella turns green with jealousy. The fairies offer hospitality and show them a treasure chest. Inside is a glowing potion. The group thanks them, and the fairies mention more treasures in the dungeon. But first, they need to grab a key from a tree surrounded by a wasp colony. The group deals with the wasps, and honestly, it's a warm-up at best. Key in hand, the fairies reveal it unlocks the boss room. Arya decides not to be impulsive and suggests heading back to the city first. The fairies are annoyed and ask to come along. In the city, the fairies go feral with excitement. Arya tries to rein them in, warning that fairies are rare and people would absolutely try to kidnap them if they knew what they were. The fairies are already eating street food without paying. Arya pays without making a scene. They've never experienced city life before. They show the potion to Rhys. He identifies it as a truth drop. Whoever drinks it will spill their deepest secrets completely against their will. Then the fairies barge into the room, and when Rhys sees them, his whole energy shifts. He excuses himself and leaves quickly without explanation. Later, in the girls' bath, Tama observes while they play a steamy game of hide-and-seek with their own assets. Before bed, Stella asks to hold Tama. He says no, but Arya, acknowledging Stella's good behavior, orders him to allow it. Tama complies, and Stella cradles him like a stuffed animal. Meanwhile, Vulcan is on her way to meet up with the group when a bell rings and a skeleton monster attacks her from behind. She crushes it effortlessly, confused by how easy that was. When she turns around, she sees someone running away. The next day, Tama and the girls head back to the dungeon with the key to fight the boss, leaving the fairies outside. They take on the boss, with Stella on tank duty, absorbing everything while the others attack. Arya nearly gets crushed. Stella blocks at the last second and rallies the team. Using her dragon strength, Stella pins the monster in place. Tama capitalizes. Fireball. Tentacles to restrain it. Opening cleared for Arya. She uses her speed and blades to finish the boss. From the chest that appears, they pull out an ancient scroll. When Arya reads it, she gets an upgrade, a holy blade added to her arsenal. When they go looking for the fairies outside, their snacks are scattered on the ground. The fairies are gone. Rhys, somewhere else, rings that same bell, the one Vulcan heard. He stares at a photo of his late wife and asks her to be patient. The group tears through the city looking for the fairies. Nothing. They head back defeated. They find Vulcan at the tavern waiting and fill her in. They're in the middle of planning when a shady old man walks in and announces that Count Gladstone formally invites them to the palace. He's undressing the girls with his eyes the entire time he speaks. Arya and Stella are 2 seconds from throwing him out the hard way. but Vulcan stops them and accepts the invitation. In the carriage, Vulcan explains, there's a rumor that the Count abducts beautiful women. She thinks the fairies were taken by him. At the palace, the Count, who looks like he ate every villain trope for breakfast, declares the girls are now his property. He has tea served and insists they drink. They hesitate. Arya drinks, but Tama had quietly activated his protection magic on them beforehand. When the girls don't pass out, the Count is bewildered. Stella grabs him by the throat and asks about the fairies. Arya tries to de-escalate. The Count panics and screams that they're demons, calling his guards. Then one of his men runs in with an emergency. The city is under attack by the undead, and they need to evacuate. The Count bolts without a second thought for the citizens. Arya orders the group to help the people. In the chaos, they evacuate civilians and fight their way through undead as a team. In an alley, a little girl nearly gets put down by a skeleton. Vulcan saves her and carries her. Arya and Vulcan hear a bell. They follow it, and they find Rhys, the necromancer behind everything. He wants revenge against the Count, who caused his wife's death. He draws power from the captive fairies and begins summoning skeletons. Then the Earth Dragon skeleton rises, Stella's old body. Tama and Stella attack the dragon skeleton. They land hits, but it regenerates. When Arya unleashes the Holy Blade, it does real damage, but it drains her. Tama tells Stella they need to buy time and free the fairies so Arya can go all in. Meanwhile, Vulcan arrives with reinforcements to help the townspeople. Tama and Stella go relentless. Using his tentacles, Tama frees the fairies and creates the opening. Arya, Holy Blade charged up, delivers the finishing blow. Together, they destroy the undead dragon. Rhys can't accept the defeat. Arya tries to talk him down. He won't listen until he rings the bell one last time. Only one skeleton moves toward him. When he looks closely, it's Alicia, his wife. What follows is Alicia breaking through to Rhys, getting him to stand down and agree to make amends for what he's done. The skeletons dissolve. The next day, the city prepares for the Count's trial. But before that, Arya visits him and offers tea, promising it has something special in it. The Count drinks it without a second thought. In front of everyone, he starts confessing his crimes with zero ability to stop himself. Arya reveals it was the truth drop. The entire city hears every word, and they decide to handle justice themselves. In the end, the Count and his accomplice go to prison. Rhys's death sentence is revoked, and he serves his time in peace. And Tama? Tama is doing what matters most, getting a bath while the girls take turns washing him with a level of care that makes anyone wish they could come back as a cat. The next morning, the group heads back home to Ruium. This time, the fairies come with them. When they arrive at the guild, Anna and the other adventurers receive them as full-on heroes for taking down the rank S undead dragon. Anna hands out new badges. Arya is promoted to rank A adventurer. Vulcan declines the promotion. She prefers the chill life. Anna also presents a gift from Count Gladstone, barrels of preserved fruit. Stella and the fairies completely lose their minds. But here's the problem. Their house is way too small for all of this. Arya suggests storing it at Vulcan's place, but the shop is already packed with materials. Anna solves it. As a rank A adventurer, Arya is going to be earning a lot more now. It's time to upgrade. Everyone gets hyped about the idea. The next day, they hit up a real estate office. The agent asks what they're looking for. The group's top priorities: a big bathroom and a huge bedroom. He takes them to a mansion near the woods. The group loves everything, except the bathroom. The agent, embarrassed, shows them an outdoor bath, the reason nobody has ever bought the place. Instead of rejecting it, they love it even more. Arya closes the deal. After helping with the move, Stella finally gets her one-on-one time with Tama. She plays with him, and Tama reluctantly goes along with it, including getting completely engulfed by her very persuasive assets. The next morning, Vulcan shows up with ingredients as a housewarming gift, and they all cook a feast together. After eating, everyone else falls asleep while Tama stays awake, pinned under the girls who are dreaming about him. He gets up and checks his status screen, and discovers something. The behemoth has a third evolution level. It would make him even more powerful than before. Out of nowhere, Stella appears. She can't sleep either. She asks what's going on with him. Tama resists at first, but Stella keeps pushing. And while Tama considers what to say, Tama tells her everything. And when she hears that he could transform into a behemoth even more powerful than the one who defeated her, Stella doesn't flinch. She goes absolutely feral with excitement. She starts begging him to transform right now and goes on about what she wants from the behemoth in great detail. Then she takes off running down the hallway after him. Tama runs. The next morning, breakfast is interrupted when the fairies ask Arya if they can grow more plants in the garden. Arya says sure, and the fairies use their fairy magic to sprout a tree in seconds. But Vulcan stops everything dead. She explains, looking pale, that what they just grew is a world tree. a tree capable of enriching soil with mystical power and generating incredibly rare minerals. Everyone goes silent. Vulcan asks them to grow normal trees around it to hide it. They do. But the result is even more shocking. The tree produces a fountain of life, water capable of healing injuries and curing illness. Despite the danger of having something like that nearby, they agree to keep it under wraps. But Vulcan uses the moment to make an important point. The fairies need to be more careful. Not just because certain people would love to get their hands on them for their very notable physical attributes, but also because of their supernatural abilities. They discuss what to do with the rare minerals forming beneath the tree, but Vulcan admits she can't extract them. Only an artifact blacksmith could pull it off, and she isn't one. Then Anna shows up at the door with a mission. A powerful monster has appeared on the first floor of the dungeon, way above the normal threat level, and they need adventurers to handle it. The group agrees to go. The fairies hesitate, thinking they'd just be a burden, but Tama, being the generous little lion he is, lets them know he's got them covered. Permission granted. In the dungeon, the fairies debut in their new armor and immediately face goblins. With their abilities, they dispatch them without breaking a sweat. Tama watches and realizes they're masters of mid-range combat, a perfect fit for the team. Then they hear a roar. They investigate and find a rank A troll. But Stella immediately says something feels off. The troll looks scared. Before anyone attacks, Arya asks Tama to sit this one out. After everything they've been through together, she wants to see how much she's grown. Tama agrees. The fairies open up the fight on the troll, but they only manage to make it angry. It charges at them. Stella blocks with her shield and creates an opening. The group moves in sync, everyone in their role, and Arya finishes it off with the holy blades. With the floor cleared, they head back home and dive into the bath together, as tradition demands. The fairies find a hidden button near the tub, and when they press it, the water starts bubbling. The girls are absolutely delighted. While watching the whole scene unfold, Arya looks over at Tama and says that, just like the Holy Sword Saint Alicia protected her homeland, she wants to protect what matters to her, Tama and their whole crew. Meanwhile, back in the capital, things are going sideways fast. Monsters are becoming increasingly aggressive since the demons made their return. And on the front lines, the Holy Sword Saint Alicia is already in position. Back home, Anna drops a bombshell. The group has been personally invited by the Emperor for an audience at the palace. Arya doesn't feel worthy of it, but Anna reassures her. Vulcan backs Anna up, but deep down, she's got a bad feeling. The next day, the group sets out for the capital. Days of travel later, they arrive. They're greeted by guards and escorted to the palace. When they enter and meet Emperor Giselle and his chief knight, Arya notices something off about how casually the Emperor refers to Vulcan by name, like they go way back. The knight Julius explains, during the War of Ragnarok against the demons, Vulcan was a hero who played a critical role. As a reward, she could have received the title of Artifact Blacksmith, the highest honor in her field. But what she asked for instead was just to be a regular blacksmith, classic Vulcan. Then a portal opens and out steps Beesbeth, a holy demon lord who allied with humanity. When Arya tenses up at the sight of her, Beesbeth immediately reads her thoughts. Julius shuts that down. Beesbeth explains the purpose of the meeting. The capital needs their help to stop the 4 loyalists and prevent the resurrection of Naaman, one of the 7 great demon lords, someone whose awakening would reactivate the entire demon army. Tama remembers the demon encounter from before and fully grasps what's at stake. Even so, he and the group agree to stand with the Emperor. The Emperor thanks them. The mission begins. Julius orders Vulcan to forge artifacts, weapons only an artifact blacksmith can make, and provides every resource she needs. The fairies are sent to train under Beesbeth. Stella goes to train with Julius. And for Arya's training, Julius takes her to a mansion. When the door opens, Arya nearly cries. A blonde elf, standing with the posture of someone who has survived 1,000 battles, it's Alicia, the same woman who saved Arya when she was a child. Alicia recognizes her too. When Arya introduces Tama as an elemental cat, Alicia doesn't look entirely convinced. She thinks someone else should be the one to train Arya. But when Arya admits that being trained by Alicia is literally her lifelong dream, Alicia accepts the challenge. Training begins. Arya comes in with her holy blades. Alicia picks up a wooden sword. With just her presence, Arya already feels the weight of the pressure bearing down on her. She can practically visualize her own defeat, but she attacks with everything she has anyway. Alicia dodges and declares that Arya has passed the test. In her words, only the brave deserve to be trained by her. Meanwhile, Vulcan is crafting the artifacts, and every other blacksmith in the room is watching with their jaw on the floor. The fairies train under Beesbeth, who has them reading books, though she's already noticed the absurd amount of mana stored inside them. Stella duels Julius, who refuses to take it seriously. Even so, With every ounce of her dragon strength, Julius drops her with a single clean movement and delivers the truth. She needs to start using her brain, not just her body. Back to Arya's training. Alicia calls for a break. Vulcan shows up and hugs Alicia. The two are old friends. Arya is surprised by the familiarity. Alicia explains they met when the Great Mage, Alicia's master, took her in. And then Alicia starts going absolutely feral, talking about this Great Mage and just how memorable he is in every possible sense. She pulls Arya into the bath to keep gossiping. In the communal bath, Beesbeth reveals that she and Alicia are both married to the Great Mage. Everyone's brain short-circuits. Stella immediately declares she wants the same arrangement with Tama. The girls dive into a full debate about who would be Tama's first wife. Tama pretends he can't hear any of this. At dinner, Alicia serves homemade burgers and reveals the recipe came from the Great Mage, who's from Japan, a place nobody there has ever heard of. Interesting. That night, while everyone sleeps, Tama takes a solo walk. Alicia appears. She asks him to protect the others when the time comes. Then she reveals she knows Tama is a behemoth. Tama freezes. But what shocks him more than anything is finding out she's always known and chose to say nothing. She's on another level entirely. The next day, training continues. During Stella's duel with Julius, he stops suddenly and apologizes. Beneath their feet, there are eggs in a nest. And Julius realizes that throughout the entire fight, Stella had been unconsciously adjusting her movements to protect those eggs. He acknowledges her strength, but points something out. Unlike Stella, who doesn't need a reason to be powerful, Arya does, and that's what makes her special. Eventually, everyone completes their training and unlocks new abilities, except Arya, who hasn't unlocked hers yet. She begs Alicia to keep going, but then Beesbeth walks in with bad news. Training is over. The 4 loyalists have appeared at multiple locations. Back at the palace, Beesbeth reports that 2 of them are already being handled, but the other 2 need attention. One of them has appeared in Alicia's homeland, and despite being retired, she's going home to defend it. The other is in Ruim, their city, close to home. Arya doesn't hesitate. She declares they're going to face these demons and protect what's theirs. They arrive at the dungeon where one of the 4 loyalists is hiding. With backup in tow, they push inside. They run into low-level monsters right away. After all that training, Arya and the group barely break a sweat. Arya's holy blades, Stella's shield, the fairies' magic, and Vulcan's artifacts make everything look effortless. Pushing deeper, they run into stronger monsters. The support group orders Julius and Arya's team to press forward toward the demons while they handle the monsters. They comply. They find a destroyed door. Stella's dragon instinct picks up the danger immediately. Tama buffs everyone's defense before they step through, and inside stands Vago, one of the 4 loyalists. He senses their hero auras from across the room and summons 2 monsters, the Cyclops and the Orthos. He sends them to eliminate the heroes while he heads back to the demon realm. But Julius cuts him off. He orders the heroes to deal with the monsters while he takes on Vago. The fight breaks out. Tama and Arya square off against the Orthos. Stella and the others take the Cyclops. But on the other side of the room, Vago is absolutely dismantling Julius. It's not even a fight, it's a statement. With Julius down, Vago buffs his own monsters, supercharging them, then opens a portal back to the demon realm. The group starts getting overwhelmed, and when Tama sees Arya in danger, there's no more room for hesitation. He transforms into the behemoth's 3rd form. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Alicia tears through the monsters in her dungeon without breaking a sweat. When she finds the other loyalist, in the middle of a bath of all things, the demoness recognizes her as the one who defeated her years ago. She threatens Alicia, transforms into a dragon. But while she's still mid-speech, Alicia has already separated her head from her body. Next, back with the group, everyone goes dead silent at the sight of the behemoth. But instead of panicking, they sense it's a wild creature, not an evil one. The monsters realize they have absolutely no shot against this thing, so they do the unthinkable. They pour every last bit of their life force into a suicide attack to try to take Tama down with them. The Orthos launches Hellfire directly at Tama, who has to tank the attack, which leaves him wide open for the Cyclops. The Cyclops' strike was going to send Tama straight to the afterlife. But Stella steps in front of it with her massive shield. Vulcan screams that she won't survive this. Stella doesn't care. She activates her full dragon power, looks at every single member of the group, and tells them she loves all of them. She thinks back to who she was before, a dragon alone in the darkness. Right up until Tama beat her, she reincarnated as a human and lived the happiest days of her life with him and the team. When the attack lands, she holds. The shield starts cracking. She starts losing ground, and that's when Arya awakens. A special ability she never knew she had, a purifying magic that cleanses the entire area and wipes out every enemy at once. The battle ends. As they celebrate, Tama feels his mana spiraling out of control and snaps back into his cat form, dropping directly into Arya's lap. Arya pulls Stella into a hug with tears in her eyes, and Tama ends up squeezed between the two of them, exactly where a knight who's earned it deserves to be. Vago, back in the demon realm, feels his monsters being destroyed. He can't believe it, but he's not out of moves yet. At the palace, the Emperor congratulates them. He also reveals that according to a prophecy, Vago will lead the demon army straight to the elven homeland. Arya puts it together instantly. Vago is going after the Philosopher's Stone, and Alicia confirms the plan is to use the stone to resurrect the demon lord. Arya is not having it. The group sets out for Luminous, the elven homeland, where the natural scenery is breathtaking in every sense of the word. On the way, Arya reflects on the past. When the demons attacked Luminous, everything seemed lost, until the elemental cat Leo and the holy sword Saint Alicia showed up to save them all. Now, as history threatens to repeat itself, Tama and the group remind Arya that she's not alone this time. Anna shows up in a brand new cape, convinced he looks like Elsa from Frozen, though everyone knows the real reason he came is to find Cedric. Alicia steadies Arya and reminds her she's not the same person she was back then. She also brings up the ability Arya finally unlocked during training, Excalibur, one seriously powerful ace up her sleeve. When they arrive at Luminese, the sight of the colossal sacred tree leaves everyone speechless. Arya explains the tree has been there longer than any living elf can remember. The elven chief, Elvin, welcomes them warmly, especially Alicia. He informs them he's brought reinforcements from other villages, led by Yona, a one-eyed Amazon warrior. Stella, sizing her up, whispers to Tama that this one's the real deal. As they walk through the village, the elves greet Arya with warmth and joy. The fairies, completely enchanted by the beauty of the place, bolt into the forest to explore. They run into a knight named Fawn and her elemental cat, Leo. Fawn demands to know who these fairies are. Arya and the group catch up, and Arya and Fawn reunite with the energy of two people who haven't seen each other in way too long. When the fairies get scolded for running off, Tama looks at Leo, and Leo, out of nowhere, rolls over and shows his belly. Fawn is completely baffled. Leo never does that, but Tama understands. Leo is showing respect to someone who surpassed him. Tama lies down beside him in return. The fairies join in, and Arya is not about to be left out. In the strategy meetings, Julius worries about the elves' defenses, but Elvin demonstrates the village is well prepared, and the Amazon reinforcements will make a real difference. Arya asks when the Amazons were formed, and Elvin reveals it was just this past year, led by someone Arya knows very well. Arya turns around, and there she is, Leona, her own mother, captain of the Amazons. Arya looks like she might cry from a combination of pure pride and complete shock. Leona explains with total calm that shortly after Arya left home, she discovered she was absurdly powerful. Just like that. Outside, Stella and the group wait for the meeting to wrap up when some villagers approach and ask if they're really as strong as people say. Vulcan tells them they're strong enough to make Saitama look like he needs more training. Stella takes it further and points to Tama as the strongest one among them. And Vulcan, who knows exactly what Tama is, agrees with the look of someone who's seen too much to argue. In the meeting, Elvin leads Arya and the other leaders to the Philosopher's Stone. Inside the sacred tree, there's a hidden entrance. He asks the Amazons to stand guard outside while the others enter, but Alicia shoots a suspicious glance at Yona before going in. Inside, the Philosopher's Stone is massive. Elvin demonstrates with a staff that it's protected by a powerful barrier, meaning they can focus on the battle without worrying too much about the stone itself. Later, Arya takes the group to her family home. Vulcan finally understands where certain qualities of Arya's come from. Leona offers to cook for everyone. But before dinner, Arya asks to speak with her mother alone. In the bath, because of course, mother and daughter open up to each other. Tama joins them because Tama always joins the bath. Arya says she doesn't want her mother in the battle. Leona looks at her daughter and tells her she's always followed Arya from a distance, believing in her dream, and that her own strength came from the same place Arya's did, the desire to protect the people she loves. She asks Arya to watch over her the same way she's always watched over Arya. Tama, in his eternal nature as a knight, declares that he'll protect Leona too. Leona gently strokes the cat. Arya agrees to let her mother fight. They hold each other, and Tama finds himself in a generational sandwich that anyone would trade their fate to be part of. That night, while Arya sleeps, Tama tries to slip out of her grip. She murmurs in her sleep, asking for his big form to show up soon. Alicia, still awake, finds Tama in the hallway. She thanks him for protecting Arya and reveals that Arya mentioned him in the letters she used to send home. She asks him to keep looking after her. Tama doesn't hesitate. It's a life vow. Meanwhile, Yona is mapping out her plan to betray the elves. Alicia appears in front of her before she can do anything. Alicia confronts her directly. She knows Yona is a demon spy. With almost insulting ease, Alicia neutralizes her. But Yona's owl was watching everything and sends the message back to Vago with the location of the Philosopher's Stone. A moment later, Vago tears open a portal directly into the village. Demons pour through and open fire on everything. Alicia conjures a barrier with her power to absorb the initial assault. Julius rallies the soldiers with a speech worthy of the greatest generals in history and stations them at every entrance to the village. Before the chaos fully ignites, Tama buffs the entire group, an extra layer of protection for the battle ahead. The team moves, Vulcan with the hammer, Stella on the front line, the fairies with their magic, Arya with her speed and blades, Tama with his full arsenal. At the other gates, Anna, cape and all, uses ice magic to put down demons with stunning precision. When one tries to blindside him from behind, Cedric, who showed up without warning, saves his partner. The two fight side by side like they've been a duo their whole lives. On the other side, the demons surround Leona thinking they've found a fragile elf with impressive, let's just say assets. They learn very quickly how wrong they are. Leona goes absolutely unhinged and sends every single one of them back to wherever they came from. Vago, watching his army crumble, summons a special creature and mounts it. The beast takes to the sky and with a single attack, punches straight through Alicia's barrier. When the army tries to return fire, the beast destroys their weapons. Julius orders a retreat, but Alicia doesn't waver. She places her full faith in Arya and in Tama. With the beast in the sky, Tama levels the playing field by transforming into the behemoth. Arya climbs on. The two go after Vago. They're keeping up, until Vago uses a portal to appear from Tama's blind side, nearly catching Arya. The opening Vago was waiting for. He dives inside the sacred tree to grab the Philosopher's Stone. Tama recovers fast and gives chase, but Vago uses the creature's raw power to bring the stone's barrier crashing down. It works. By the time Tama and Arya get inside, they're too late. The creature swallows the stone. Shockwaves ripple through the entire village. The sacred tree begins to wither. Vago opens a portal back to the demon realm, already celebrating the demon king's resurrection. Tama tries to attack the creature, but Arya is still on it. No opening. But then, Arya deliberately lets go and goes into freefall. She looks at Vago and tells him he's not going to win against the power of everything they've built together. And she falls. Tama has the opening he needed. He launches a fire attack that collides head-on with the creature's counterattack. Tama overpowers it completely. And in that same instant, Arya activates her special ability, Excalibur, landing a direct hit on Vago and sending him to a plane of existence he didn't plan on visiting. With Vago defeated, the demons fall back. Tama catches Arya mid-air before she hits the ground. They recover the Philosopher's Stone, and Arya whispers that she always knew he'd be there. That night, the entire city erupts in celebration, a feast and a party that stretches all the way to sunrise. In recognition of everything the group contributed, Alicia proposes that Arya and Tama receive heroic titles. She names them officially the Holy Blade and the Holy Beast. Arya cries. Leona and everyone else celebrate the birth of legends. When they return to Ruim, the people receive them as heroes. Arya at the center of it all. And that night, as always, the group bath happens. Except this time, after seeing Tama's full behemoth size up close, the girls won't stop talking about having his kittens. Tama listens to them one by one, but deep down, he's already found the perfect life for himself. A rank S behemoth, protecting his elven adventurer princess, and he wouldn't trade it for anything in any world.